And this is the almost daily, doing pretty good lately, almost daily guitar lesson. A little bit of a shorter one today, but kind of cool little topic. That's what this is a lot about here, just topics of my choice, all right? And this one is about septuplets and quintuplets. In fact, let me open this up so I can do some writing here. Now, septuplets, quintuplets, a lot of times you see these in transcriptions, okay? And they can look pretty confusing to people. A lot of times people have trouble knowing how to count these. Therefore, they'll have problems with how to play them, right? So we're going to talk about that today, how to handle that when you practice, and just give you some examples of really why you see a lot of quintuplets and septuplets. Cool. Also, if you're trying to chat, I think the chat works. I'm trying to fix that. I don't think it was showing up last time when people were writing. So, doing my best on that. Now, what is a quintuplet or a septuplet? Okay. Let's show you. It is this. You've probably seen triplets before. It is very much the same thing. And if I've got a septuplet, let's say I have something that is 4 quarter notes in one measure. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and then you see something like this. A group of 5 16th notes, and you see a 5 like this over it. We call that a quintuplet. Tuplet really just means, and if that was 7 notes, by the way, 1, 2 more connected, put a 7, that'd be a septuplet. What a tuplet really means is you are dividing a beat evenly. And that's the tricky part about these. Divided evenly into a certain number of notes, okay? So the evenly thing is a big deal. The evenly thing is a big deal because this would not be a quintuplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some of those notes were longer than others, correct? So that would not be what we call a quintuplet. Quintuplet would have to be 5 even notes, any kind of tuplet, right? Again, you've probably heard of triplets. If I have a beat, well, if I take each of those beats, think of it as a pulse. If I divide that into 3 equal parts, which you've probably done this, fairly common. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Right? Those are 3 equal parts. Common mistake with triplets, by the way, if we're on the topic, is people will do this. Like so. Now I'm doing 3 notes per click, but notice those are not even. Ba, 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 ba. That would actually be 2 16ths and an 1/8 note. So we have to be careful about that whenever you're dealing with any kind of tuplet, whether it's a triplet, quintuplet, septuplet, whatever. They have to be even. Each note has to last for the same amount of time. That's the tricky part about quintuplets and septuplets, because it's an odd number, right? And we're sort of trained to think that that's going to be difficult. Okay, so as an example, if I did 7 notes per click here, so here's what I'm going to do. It's going to be kind of fast. I got this at about 120, the metronome. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to end on that, which will be my next click. So you're going to hear 8 notes here, but remember, my last note's on the next click. So there will still be a total of 7 notes here being played during that first click. Let's see if I can get it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bam. There it is. You hear these and see these in the transcriptions a lot of times when it is pretty fast licks. A lot of times those types of legato licks, even sometimes picking, although you don't see them as much with picking. Alternate picking every note. So that's an example of a septuplet, and it's very hard to hear that when you're just listening that quickly, isn't it? Right? So they're difficult to practice unless you have a plan of attack, really, to do this. Now, for example, in that septuplet, notice the first thing I did was I mapped it out very slowly. I said, okay, if I'm doing that kind of a lick, just how many notes is actually going to be 7 of them? Where do I end up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know if I'm continuing that lick, that note has got to be on the next beat. That's the only thing that's going to give you a lifeline when you're trying to play that quickly. The only thing your brain is going to be able to register is going to be, am I hitting this note on that click? That's it, okay? You have to rely on your sense of rhythm pushing towards that click, pushing towards hitting that note. That is what's going to ultimately regulate the speed and the evenness of your other notes. If you hit that note correctly on the click at that speed, you're pretty much golden there in terms of having fit those notes in as well as you're possibly going to be able to do it at that speed. Okay, so those are as even as you're going to get. You may have seen things in the transcriptions where you'll even have things like big groups of 11. You know, if you're looking at a Steve Vai kind of transcription, he has licks like, he's just going as fast as he can at that point. The deal is someone has listened back to it after the fact, probably slowed it down in some way, and basically just said, okay, at this slow tempo, I'm hearing the beat like that, you know. And if it's very slowed down, they're just listening to say, oh, you know what? There's pretty much 11 notes crammed in to that slowed down beat. And they're probably not just absolutely mathematically equal at that point, but it's close enough where he's crammed 11 notes into that beat. And so it has to be notated with a big 11, like a tuplet. I don't even know what you'd call an 11 tuplet. But that's what it would look like. It'd look like 11, just like I wrote the 5. And you have to cram 11 notes as best you can evenly into that beat. And so that's what I mean. It's very difficult just to listen to this and figure it out. No one's planning that out. They're just moving their fingers usually as fast as possible. And it just happens to be a group of 11, something weird, 10. All right. That being said, there is a reason why we see a lot of septuplets and why we see a lot of quintuplets, which I don't think a lot of people think about. It's a very natural thing to do on guitar, believe it or not. A lot of scales on the guitar, of course, are going to be 3 notes per string. Those types of finger patterns, right? Much more than that's just awkward. Okay, so 3 notes per string really lays very naturally, okay, under your fingers. If you were to do a legato lick, very common to do hammer-ons and then pull back away. Okay? Well, what naturally happens, if I do a hammer-on with 3 notes and then pull back, lo and behold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you naturally get 5 notes. Now I know it's a very quick, but there are 5 notes in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I were to play that lick, and then let's say I wanted to go to that note right there on my next beat. Pretty fast tempo. I'll do this. This is like 160 about. This will be pretty quick. I'm doing 5 notes per click there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bam. Okay. Again, to point out, there's no way in hell that my brain is somehow registering each of those 5 notes. It's too fast. What I'm thinking about is I have to get to that little slide I'm doing on the next beat. If I can do that, okay, that's about as close as I can get to having those other notes be even, right? Because we're cramming them in so that they fit. If this was a very slow tempo, it would be easy maybe to go where that note would have been too long. But that would have been extremely slow tempo. Click, click. Can't play those kind of tempos anyway. Too much space in between. So again, this is why you're going to see these mostly at faster tempos. So if we had something like this, that was a little bit bad there. Let me get my notes down here. Okay, I'm doing that move on every beat. Bop, 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 bop. That is what I am mentally, again, pushing towards. I have to make sure that if I'm moving that, sorry, I'm just repeating the lick, okay? So when you're practicing these things, again, not to repeat myself indefinitely here, however, that's the big deal. You have to map out where is my finger going to go on the beat, and you can't consciously think about counting 5 there. It's just not going to happen. You just have to cram them all in, okay? Move, cram them, move. Now, septuplets, same deal. And I'm going to have to cut out of here. I have a lesson actually with somebody. Septuplets, same idea. I'm going to have to slow this down. I don't think I can fit another 2 notes in there at that speed. Septuplets, if you do a hammer-on and then a pull-off kind of a deal twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you do that twice, that's 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's the same idea. Fairly natural thing to do. It just works out to being 7 notes. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1. There's the 7 there. I'm trying to aim. I know I have to hit those notes because I'm doing 7 in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I end up on those notes. Not perfect, but hey, not bad for not being warmed up here. So those are practicable. You know, people see those big long licks. That reminds me, you know, Alex Skolnick, for example. If you listen to a lot of the classic Testament kind of stuff, he has a lot of really cool, like those types of licks, right? Joe Satriani, of course, big time. A lot of his fast stuff is very Joe Satriani-ish or kind of Alex Skolnick-y. All right. So that's a very good way to approach your quintuplets and your septuplets. You do it slow at first so that you are making sure that you are just mapping out, pardon me, the number of notes that you have in that beat that you have to fit in there. Okay. And then you have to just gradually speed it up, keeping your attention on the next beat and what note needs to be there. Okay, but these are fairly natural for the guitar, so you don't want to be intimidated when you see them in the transcriptions there. All right. Okay, great. That's it. A little short one today, but there you are. So if you have not followed, I'm trying to get up to 50 people here, Metal Guitar Academy. Kind of new on this platform, on Twitch anyway. I know you might be also watching on YouTube or Facebook. That's great. If you're on Twitch, give Metal Guitar Academy a follow. I'm trying to get up to 50 follows. Getting pretty close. Unlock that subscription button. So if you guys want to support the channel here, what I'm doing with just a little bit of subscription, that's the goal. But we got to unlock it first. So let's get to that 50 followers. Okay. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful for you, and I will see you very soon. All right.